The space station above Earth was quiet. Stars shone outside the glass windows. Everything looked peaceful. But then, the silence broke. A loud signal beeped on the control panels. Red lights flashed. Captain Rhea stood up quickly. She had never seen this kind of signal before. It was not from Earth. It was not from any known planet. Where is it coming from? She asked. Her team checked the system. It's coming from deep space, Captain. From the alien ship. Everyone froze. The alien ship had appeared near Earth only 2 days ago. It was massive, 10 times bigger than any human spaceship. But it hadn't attacked. It hadn't spoken. It just waited. Now, finally, it was sending a message. Captain Rhea opened the communication screen. The image that appeared made everyone gasp. It was a tall, powerful alien queen. Her skin was silver blue. Her eyes glowed like ice. Her voice was cold, yet broken. Please, the queen said. Help her. She won't stop crying. The screen blinked off. Silence returned. Who was crying? Someone asked. The answer came fast. A soft sound echoed through the space station speakers. A baby's cry. But it didn't sound human. It was high-pitched, strange, painful, and it didn't stop. It kept crying. Minutes passed, then an hour. 2 hours, no break, no pause. Just crying. Everyone looked at each other. No one knew what to do. We have to go, said Dr. Eli Morgan, the only human caregiver trained in alien biology. That baby, it needs help. The next morning, Eli entered the alien ship alone. A small shuttle dropped him onto a glowing platform. As the shuttle flew away, the ship opened like a living creature. Smooth walls moved aside. Lights pulsed. Softly, Eli felt watched. He walked through long curved hallways. Strange writing covered the walls. He followed the sound of the crying. Finally, he reached a large chamber. Inside, the alien queen stood next to a floating crib. Her face looked tired. Her hands trembled. The baby was inside the crib, tiny, wrapped in silver cloth. Her skin was soft blue, but her eyes, they looked almost human. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She cried and cried. The queen looked at Eli. She has not stopped since she was born. Nothing we do works. She won't eat, won't sleep, won't respond. Eli stepped closer. May I hold her? The queen hesitated. Her guards moved forward. No, she said. She is royal blood. No human may touch her. Eli pointed to the baby. She's in pain. Do you want her to suffer? The queen closed her eyes. A long pause. Then slowly, she nodded. Eli walked to the crib and picked up the baby gently. She was warm. She fit perfectly in his arms. She kept crying until his hand touched her back. Then, silence. Everyone stared. The crying stopped. The baby blinked. Her small hand touched Eli's chest. A soft light glowed from under her skin. Her eyes locked on Eli's face, and then she smiled. The queen's eyes widened. She stepped back, breathing hard. She has never smiled before. Eli rocked the baby slowly. She yawned. Her small hand wrapped around one of his fingers. She just needed comfort, Eli whispered. No, said the queen. She needed you. What do you mean? Eli asked. But the queen didn't answer. She turned and walked away. The alien guards stood still, confused. Eli looked down at the baby. She was calm now, safe, peaceful. But something felt strange. His hand tingled where her skin touched him. A strange warmth flowed through his arm. Was this baby different? Was she really just an alien child? Eli didn't know. But he knew one thing. This was just the beginning. Everything had changed with just one touch. The baby, who cried non-stop for days, was now asleep in a human's arms. Dr. Eli Morgan sat in a quiet alien chamber. The lights were dim. The air smelled sweet and strange. He held the tiny child close to his chest. Her small body breathed softly. Her glowing skin pulsed gently. Like a heartbeat, the alien queen stood nearby, silent. Her cold expression had softened. "This is not normal," she finally said. "You touched her." And she became quiet. "Why?" Eli shook his head. "I don't know. Maybe she felt safe." The queen stared at him. "You are the only one who can calm her. Have any other humans touched her before?" He asked. "No. You are the first." Eli looked down at the baby. She looked peaceful, like a normal infant. But there was something in her eyes. Something familiar. He spoke softly. "She doesn't look fully alien." The queen did not reply. She turned her back and walked toward the dark wall. A hidden door opened. Eli stood up, still holding the child. "What is this place?" he asked. "Follow me," she said. They entered a narrow hallway. The walls shimmered like liquid metal. The baby remained quiet, resting against Eli's chest. At the end of the hallway was a lab. Strange machines beeped. Glowing screens showed charts, DNA strands, and blood tests. In the center, a single screen displayed two faces side by side, a human and an alien. Eli's heart skipped. That's human DNA," he whispered. The queen nodded. "We began research years ago. Our species is dying. We cannot create strong offspring anymore. So we tried something different." Eli's eyes widened. "You mixed alien and human DNA." "She is the first successful result," the queen said. "The others failed." Eli stared at the child in his arms. "So she's not fully alien and not fully human. She is both." "But why keep it secret?" The queen's voice turned cold again. "Because our council fears her. They believe she is a mistake. They want her gone." Eli stepped back, shocked. "You mean they want to kill her?" "She is alive because I am queen, but I am not safe forever." Eli looked at the sleeping baby. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. She smiled. "At me," he said quietly. Why would she smile at a stranger? The queen hesitated. Then, slowly, she walked to another screen and touched it. A video played. Blurry, old, but clear enough. A human scientist appeared. He wore a white coat. He was talking to the queen. Eli gasped. "That's my brother. Dr. Jonah Morgan." The queen looked away. "He helped us. He gave his knowledge. He gave more." Eli's voice shook. "You mean he's her father?" The queen said nothing. Eli sat down slowly. His mind was spinning. The baby moved in his arms and let out a soft sigh. She was safe. She was real. And maybe she was family. Outside, a loud noise echoed through the halls. Boom. The walls shook. Red lights flashed. The queen's eyes widened. "They found us." "Who?" Eli asked. "The council." She ran to a panel and hit a button. "You must go, now." "But," she pointed to a secret tunnel. "Take her. They cannot find her with you. Not yet." Eli held the baby tightly. "What about you? I will delay them. Now run." Eli hesitated only for a second. Then he ran. The tunnel was narrow and dark. Lights blinked above him. He could hear footsteps in the distance, alien soldiers entering the lab. He ran faster. The baby opened her eyes. For a second, they glowed blue and gold. Not alien, not human. Something new. And then she spoke. Just one word. Soft, clear. In English. "Daddy." Eli stopped. Tears filled his eyes. The baby knew him, or maybe remembered someone like him. He held her close. His heart pounded. Something big was happening. This was not just about one child. This was about the future of two worlds, and Eli was now part of it. The stars looked quiet from the escape pod. But Eli's heart was racing. He held the alien baby close to his chest. Her head rested against him. She had fallen asleep again, But her last words still echoed in his mind. Daddy. He wasn't her father, was he? He looked down at her small, glowing face. Her skin shimmered faintly, like light was trapped under it. She looked peaceful now. But Eli could feel something inside her. Something powerful. The pod flew silently away from the alien ship. Behind him, explosions shook the Queen's palace. The council had come. They wanted the baby dead. Eli didn't know where he was going. He only knew one thing. He had to protect her. A few hours later, the pod landed inside an old human space research station, abandoned, floating in orbit near Saturn. The door opened with a hiss. Dust filled the air. Eli carried the child inside. He found a control room and placed her gently on a blanket. The station lights flickered on. Screens came alive. Old human files loaded. One screen flashed red. Dr. Jonah Morgan, last login. 6 years ago. Eli stepped closer. His brother had been here. He tapped the screen. Old video logs opened. The first showed Jonah smiling, standing next to alien scientists. His voice was calm. This is a new chapter for both our species, Jonah said. We're building something that will unite us forever. Eli watched in silence. Another video started. The Queen was there. She looked younger. She was holding something, a container with glowing cells inside. Jonah spoke again. This is our most important experiment. We're not just combining DNA, we're combining hearts, emotion, memory, instinct. Eli's eyes widened. This wasn't just a science project. It was a plan for a new life form. He played the final file. The screen flickered. Jonah's voice was different now, worried. If anything happens to me, Eli, protect her. She's not just data. She's our last hope. Eli leaned back in the chair, breathing hard. Was this really his niece? Was the baby more than just part human? He turned around. The baby was awake now. She sat up slowly and looked around. Her eyes glowed again, gold and blue. But this time, the room lights blinked. When she looked at them, one by one, the monitors lit up. Machines powered on. Doors unlocked. Eli stood frozen. She's connected, he whispered. The baby turned to him and smiled. Then she pointed at a wall. Her voice was soft. There. Eli walked to the wall she pointed at. There was nothing, just metal panels. Suddenly, a soft click. A secret panel slid open. Inside was a small, locked case. He opened it. There were papers, old digital chips, and a note written by Jonah. The stars carry more than light. They carry memory. She is not only a child, she is a message. Eli looked back at her. The baby now floated slightly above the blanket, her body glowing brighter. Something was waking inside her. A message? A weapon? Or a bridge between two worlds? Before he could move, the alarm buzzed. Incoming ship. Not human. The council had followed him. He grabbed the baby and ran to the control panel. He activated the shields, but the station was old. It wouldn't hold long. He whispered to her. What do we do now? She looked at him calmly. Then she placed her tiny hand on the control screen. The lights around the station changed. The screens filled with alien symbols, but now mixed with English. New words appeared. Safe route detected. Coordinates set. Eli gasped. She's controlling the system. The pod door opened behind him. She had activated it without touching a single button. Eli ran inside with her. The pod launched again, not to escape, but to go somewhere she wanted to go. He looked at her, both amazed and afraid. Where are you taking me? He asked softly. She smiled and leaned against him. Outside the pod window, a star pulsed strangely. It was not on any human map. She pointed. Home, she whispered. The stars outside were spinning fast. Eli sat inside the escape pod, holding the alien baby close. Her hand still rested on the control panel, glowing. The ship moved on its own. She was flying it. He didn't ask how. He just watched. She didn't look scared. She looked calm, almost in control. Like she knew where to go. But Eli's heart was racing. The alien council had found him once. They would find him again, and this time they might not miss. Suddenly, a warning flashed on the screen. Enemy ship detected. Following. Eli jumped up. No, no, no. The baby looked at the alert, then turned her head slowly toward Eli. Her eyes glowed brighter. We can't fight them, he said. We need to hide. The baby didn't answer. She couldn't, she was still too young. But she placed both hands on the console. A map appeared. Dozens of star systems lit up. One blinked red. She touched it. The ship changed direction instantly. Where? Are we going? Eli asked. She only said one word. Shadows. The pod entered a dark zone in space. No stars, no planets, just black, total silence. Sensors failed. Lights dimmed. Eli felt cold. Then the ship passed through something like a cloud, but heavier. Suddenly, everything was bright again. They were in a secret area, hidden between dimensions. No map showed it. No ship could enter by accident. But she had brought them here. Outside the window was a floating city, half organic, half machine. Alien symbols glowed softly on its surface. Eli's eyes widened. What is this place? The baby smiled but said nothing. The pod landed slowly on a glowing platform. Doors opened. The air smelled like metal and flowers. Eli stepped out carefully. Baby in his arms. Nobody came to greet them. Then, a voice echoed soft but clear. Welcome, daughter. Eli turned fast. A figure stood at the gate. Not a guard, not a soldier, but an old alien woman, wrapped in golden cloth. She walked forward and bowed to the baby. We have waited for you. Eli was confused. Waited? How? Who are you? I am Keeper of the Shadows, she said. We are the last free minds of the galaxy. The Council fears us, but cannot find us. And her. Eli looked down at the baby. Why did you call her daughter? She is the child of two worlds, the Keeper said. Born from war, built for peace. Eli's voice was shaky. But she's just a baby. The Keeper shook her head. No, she is more. Her mind is young, but her soul carries ancient knowledge. She is the key. Eli looked down. The baby was glowing again. She looked up at him with knowing eyes. Before he could ask more, alarm sounded again. The Council had arrived. Somehow. They found them. The Keeper touched the floor with her staff. A secret door opened. You must go. Take her below. There's still one path left. Eli ran through the door, down spiral steps made of light. The baby reached out and touched the walls as they passed. Each time, the wall glowed like she was waking the building itself. Behind them, the sounds of fighting echoed. The Council was here. The Keeper's voice whispered through the halls. She must survive. Even if we do not. Deep underground, Eli entered a room unlike anything he had ever seen. Floating in the air were memory crystals, each glowing with light and sound. He stepped inside. The baby reached for one of the crystals. It floated down and played. A voice came out. It was Jonah, Eli's brother. If you're hearing this, Eli, and she made it. She's special. She's more than you know. Her mind is a star map. Her blood is a code. Her tears can rewrite reality. Eli's mouth fell open. Jonah continued. Protect her. She doesn't just belong to us. She belongs to tomorrow. Suddenly, the door above shook. Footsteps. Voices. They were coming. The baby floated out of Eli's arms, rising slowly in the center of the room. Her eyes glowed fully, now no longer blue or gold, but white. Machines around her powered on. The walls changed, opening new passages. Eli reached out, scared. What are you doing? She turned her head just a little and smiled. Then she said two words. Follow me. The deeper Eli and the baby went into the underground tunnels, the quieter everything became. The fighting above was fading. The only sound now was the soft hum of the walls, almost like breathing. The baby floated beside him without fear. Lights followed her steps. She wasn't walking. She was guiding. They entered a round room, glowing with blue light. The ceiling looked like a star map, spinning slowly above them. Strange symbols moved across the walls. Some were alien, but some looked like English letters, twisted, broken, incomplete. Eli whispered, "Where are we?" The baby floated to the center of the room and sat down. She closed her eyes. Suddenly, everything changed. The air became heavy. The lights dimmed. And Eli heard something, not with his ears, but inside his mind. A voice, a whisper, not hers, but also her. "Can you hear me now, Eli?" Eli stepped back. "What, who?" He looked at the baby. She was still sitting, silent, but her lips weren't moving. The voice spoke again. "I was too young before, but I'm learning. Fast." Eli understood. She was inside his mind. She was speaking telepathically. He sat down slowly. His heart was beating fast. "How are you doing this?" he asked. "I was made for more than crying." The walls lit up around them. Images appeared. Memories. Not Eli's single quotes, hers. One showed her inside a glass tank alone, floating, wires connected to her. Scientists, alien and human, watched from behind glass. Another memory, a soft voice, singing, human, a lullaby, female. "She remembers a song?" Eli whispered. "She sang to me before they took her away." "Who?" "My mother, not the queen." Eli's heart dropped. "You mean she had a human mother too?" The baby nodded. Still silent, but now her voice in his head was clear. "The queen carried me, but she wasn't the one who held me first. The woman with the soft hands, she loved me." Tears filled Eli's eyes. They erased it from the records. They hid her. The baby looked at him. For the first time she looked sad. Then the room began to shake. Symbols on the wall started flashing. New voice entered. But this one was not kind. It was deep, cold, sharp like a knife. "You are not real." Eli stood up. "Who is that?" The baby's eyes glowed brightly. "They left something inside me. A lock, a shadow, a voice that tries to shut me down." Suddenly, the baby screamed, not with sound, but inside Eli's mind. He fell to his knees. The room went dark. Her body began to float higher. Her skin flickered between blue, gold, and white. And then black. The shadow voice whispered again, "You were never meant to live. You are the failure. You are the weapon they fear." The walls cracked. Glass broke. Eli crawled toward her. "Fight it," he shouted. "You're stronger." "I'm trying. I'm scared. Help me." Eli reached her and touched her hand. Suddenly, everything froze. Silence. Time stopped. Then, a heartbeat. One soft thump. Another. She opened her eyes. The blackness faded. Her body glowed white again, calm, steady. She smiled. "Thank you, Eli. The voice is gone. You quieted it." The room lit up. Now, the spinning star map above showed a path, a single glowing trail across galaxies. She stood on her own feet for the first time and spoke with her real voice. "We have to go there." Eli asked, "What's there?" She looked up. Her words were slow but clear. "Answers, my memories, my real name." Eli blinked. "You don't have a name yet?" She shook her head. "I was called Subject A, but the voice inside me, it called me Starburn." Eli whispered. "Starburn." She smiled. "Do you like it?" He smiled back. "I love it." But before they could leave, a screen turned on. A message from the outside. "Alien Council ship approaching. 1 minute away, but they wouldn't have to run this time." The baby. Starburn placed her hands on the wall. the entire chamber shifted. Giant hidden ship, buried under the ruins, began to wake. It was hers, linked to her mind, and it would fly only for her. She turned to Eli, softly, but clearly. It's time to stop running. The ancient ship beneath the ruins had awakened. It wasn't just metal and wires. It was alive, breathing through lights, humming like a heart. The baby, now called Starburn, stood at its center. The ship responded to her thoughts. She didn't. Need controls. She was the control. Eli watched from behind, still in awe. Just a few days ago, she was a crying child in a floating crib. Now she was unlocking technology older than any human had ever seen. And somewhere deep in that ship, the truth was waiting. As the ship began to move, the star map appeared again, this time showing a single red star blinking far away. It pulsed like a warning. Or a heartbeat. Starburn touched the screen. That's where he is, she said softly. My other half, my father. Eli froze. You mean Jonah? She nodded. He's not dead, not yet. The ship changed direction and jumped into hyperspeed. The stars outside stretched like rivers of light. Eli leaned back, stunned. They said he died during the experiments. Starburn didn't speak for a moment. Then in his mind he heard her whisper, he gave them everything. But they feared what I would become, so they erased him. He's been trapped ever since. Eli's fists clenched. His older brother, his guide, his hero, had been alive this whole time, used, abandoned. The ship slowed. They had arrived. Before them floated a dark, broken station orbiting a dying star. The station had no name, no lights. It looked forgotten, but Starburn pointed. He's inside. They entered the hangar quietly. No guards. No signs of life. Only silence. Eli carried her through a twisted hallway, lit by flickering red lights. Strange scratches lined the walls, like someone had fought to escape. Then they found the room. It was cold, small, one chair, one table, and a man. He was sitting in the shadows, back turned, hair white, shoulders thin. But as soon as he heard the door, he turned slowly. Eli gasped. Jonah. The man stood. His eyes were tired but alive. Eli? His voice cracked. The two brothers stared at each other. Time seemed to freeze. I thought you were dead, Eli whispered. I almost was, Jonah said. They locked me here after she was born. Jonah looked past him and saw the child in Eli's arms. He took a step forward. Is that? Starburn stared at him. Her lips trembled. Are you my father? Jonah dropped to his knees. His hands shook. Yes, he whispered. I tried to save you. I never stopped. She walked to him on her own feet and touched his face. A pulse of white light spread across the room. Machines turned on. Walls lit up. The entire station responded. To her, Jonah's eyes filled with tears. You're even more than I imagined, she nodded. But they tried to erase you from me. They couldn't, he said. You remembered. Eli stood back, trying to understand everything. How did this happen? He asked. Jonah looked at him. We weren't building a weapon. We were building a bridge. A way to end war between humans and the alien people. But when she was born, she was too perfect. Eli narrowed his eyes. Perfect? She could link minds, read emotion, heal pain. Her DNA wasn't just mixed, it was designed to feel everything. Jonah stood. They were afraid of her empathy. Because if she grew up, she'd unite us all. No more control, no more fear, no more power for them. Suddenly, alarms blared. The council had followed them again. Starburn turned. Her voice was calm. They want to destroy this place. Erase him. Erase me. Jonah stood beside her. Then we stand together. Eli stepped forward too. 3 of us. One family. Starburn lifted her hand. A wave of energy spread from her palm. Outside the station, The council ships froze mid-space, locked in time. Inside, the walls bent open, and Starburn spoke not just to them, but to every ship, every world, every being listening in deep space. You built me from your fear, but I am not fear. I am the voice of both bloods. I am the child of stars. I do not want war. I want to remember everything you tried to forget. I want peace, the council leader tried to speak. His face appeared on one of the screens. You are a threat to balance, Starburn smiled. Balance built on silence is not peace. She raised both hands. Light surrounded the station. The council's weapons powered down. Their ships drifted like dust. And then she closed her eyes. Everything went still. Eli stepped forward. What did you do? She looked tired, soft. I showed them what it feels like to be me. Jonah helped her sit. She shared her mind, he said. Every memory, every pain, every dream. Starburn looked up at her father and uncle. I'm not a weapon. She smiled gently. I'm just a little girl who didn't want to cry alone. The war ended without a shot. No treaty was signed. No leaders met at a table. No army stood down. It ended because one small voice was finally heard. Her name was once a number. Now across 2 galaxies, she was known as Kalan Starborn. The child who cried for days, and then whispered peace into the minds of millions. After the broadcast from the forgotten station, everything changed. The alien council collapsed. Within weeks, their systems rejected commands. Soldiers dropped weapons. People woke up not brainwashed, not angry, just quiet, because they had felt her. Her memories. Her fear, her innocence, and something deeper, her hope. On Earth, people gathered around screens and listened to her final message. I do not want to rule. I do not want revenge. I just want a place to grow. Her voice was soft, but it held weight. Even the coldest politicians, the oldest generals, and the richest corporations had no answer, because it wasn't a demand. It was a wish. Eli stood on the surface of the small green moon where they had built a new home, far from Earth, far from alien cities, but connected to both. Jonah was beside him, older, thinner, but alive again in purpose. And there she was, Starborn. Now a little taller, walking in a garden of glowing plants, laughing, talking to both birds and machines, both understanding her in their own way. She was no longer just a baby, but she was still a child, still learning, still glowing, not just with light, but with peace. Eli sometimes asked himself if it had all been real, the council, the secret, labs. The visions. The escape, the mind voice inside his head. Sometimes it all felt like a story someone else had lived, until he saw her face, until she called him uncle, and hugged him like he was home. One evening, Starburn stood alone under the twin moons. The wind was soft. The trees whispered in 2 languages. Jonah joined her quietly. She turned to him and asked, Do you ever feel like there's more? He smiled, always. She looked up at the stars. I hear them. Hear what? The voices of those still sleeping. Jonah grew quiet. You mean other hybrids? She nodded slowly. Like me, scattered, hidden, forgotten. Jonah placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll find them when you're ready. She smiled, but it was different this time. Not a child's smile, but one filled with quiet purpose. A few days later, a message arrived from Earth's new space, Union. They wanted her to visit. She had never been on Earth. She had been born from both worlds, but raised on the edge like a bridge no one dared walk across. Until now. Eli looked at her before they left. Are you scared? She shook her head. I'm not going as a leader. Then what are you going as? She paused, then said softly, a question. The ship that carried her to Earth was built from alien metal and human design, a living symbol of who she was when she stepped onto the Earth's surface for the first time. The skies above shimmered, not because of weather, because satellites all across orbit paused to watch. No red carpet, no speeches, just a child walking forward with glowing eyes and a memory of every pain she was born from and every dream she still believed in. At the gate of the Earth assembly, guards stepped aside. One of them, a young woman, knelt down and asked her gently, "Are you the child from the stars?" Starburn looked at her, smiled, and said, "I'm just someone who cried and someone who listened." 10 years later, legends would be told of that day, of the girl who walked into the heart of a broken world and never raised her voice, but changed everything. Not with war, not with power, but with a truth so small, so simple, no one could deny it. Even galaxies can be healed if someone is brave enough to hold the crying child.